thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. Thank you, Barb Marley, our musical inspiration this morning, just reminding us that everything is going to be all right. To our family that is joining us via Facebook and via our YouTube channel, we say Grand Rising, good morning, and welcome to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for joining us, especially those who are here in the center and those who will be viewing us at whatever point in time you do so. For the last 3 Sundays, well, for the last Sundays including today, we have begun this part of our celebration service with a unison reading from our Declaration of Principles. And this comes from Living the Science of Mind. And this week we are highlighting the third of the 4 major concepts or aspects of God that was offered by our founder, Ernest Holmes. And so the third concept is how to use it. And now let us begin with our reading for today, January 21st. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that, are we on the same slide? Okay, let's start again. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. I invite you to reflect on these statements that we have been reading for the past Sundays. And this is Ernest Holmes offering to us of what he believes, what his concepts of God are. And in some cases, we say this rather rotely and go along our merry way. And I'm inviting you to just challenge yourself and ask, do I really believe this? And if there's something in these statements that do not resonate with you, make it okay. You don't have to accept everything that is pushed at you or shoved towards you, or in some cases, we like to say spoon-fed. One of the beauties of Science of Mind is that we teach our people how to think, not what to think. We teach you how to think. And so think for yourselves and reflect on this. And it's okay to question God, because in questioning God, we're actually questioning ourselves, because we are one with this intelligence. There is no place where God stops and we begin, and there's no place we stop and God begins. We continue with our theme for the month and our annual theme, which is Grand Rising. And today's topic is It's a New Life. We began the year by discussing intention setting versus resolutions. Where's my mind going with revolutions? I think it's that external energy that is prevalent in the world of effect right now. There's a revolution going on. And even to a certain extent, there's revolutions going on, I know, within my own consciousness and with my own awareness, where I'm examining the way I've looked at things or the way I respond to things. So we began the year by discussing intention setting versus resolutions. And we agreed that even though intention setting is powerful, the universe tends to laugh at our plans. Life can seem to get in the way of our dreams. The good news is staying present and trusting the divine. We have all we need to manage every challenge that is thrown at us. These challenges or opportunities, as some like to say, are designed to shape us into the expression of life that we are meant to be and become. The faith that we bring to these challenges builds hope and our faith muscle that allows us to overcome anything. Faith turns the impossible into triumph. The energy of faith reminds us that the Spirit is by our side throughout our journey, always conspiring in our favor. The universe is conspiring with us and for us, not against us. And that really is good news from my point of view. And as we identify aspects of this thing that we're exploring today, this topic that we're exploring today, a new life, we have something new that has popped into our language, if you will, into our awareness, and it's the phrase, the metaverse. The metaverse. And so in a recent edition of Spiritual Passages, it is a wonderful email that I subscribe to. It's a resource for spiritual teachers and spiritual seekers by Reverend Scott Aubrey, who is a Centers for Spiritual Living minister. He posted this question: where is God in the metaverse? Where is God in the metaverse? Good question, he responded. However, before we answer, let us ask this: what the heck is the metaverse? Good place to start, right? Examining what it is that we're looking at or talking about. The term metaverse is a blend of meta and universe, and it was coined by science fiction writer Neil Stephenson in his 1992 novel, Snow Crash. Now, I haven't read this. It's going to be on my list of things to read. He describes the metaverse as the digital universe which exists alongside the actual world. Simply, it's a 3D version of the internet. Some of us of a certain age may remember going to the movies when the 3D movies first came out, and we had the glasses that we put on, and it brought the screen, it brought the action to life. And so this is what the metaverse is doing. It's another version, it's a 3D attempt, not an attempt. It's a 3D version of the universe. It is helpful to remember that meta is a Greek term meaning greater than, or to encompass all virtual worlds and experiences. This is another invitation for us as spiritual truth seekers and spiritual truth knowers to put into practice what Ernest Holmes said, and that is to be open at the top. So this is another tool that is available to us to use for our life experiences. Having experienced a pandemic, we become more interested, and in some cases, we were forced to experience spirituality online. Many of our spiritual practices and gatherings are boosted by technology, and a lot of them now are occurring via technology only. The metaverse, artificial intelligence, and virtual realities are here to stay. We may resist them, we may choose not to participate in them, but they are here. They are a way of life. So where's the divine in all of this? And how do we as a community integrate ourselves into this new environment? Dave Waters, a supply chain expert, responded this way. He says, with the metaverse, we're transitioning from viewing a 2D world, a two-dimensional world, looking at the internet, to living inside the internet in a three-dimensional world. And I equate that to, again, the teachings of science of mind and the philosophy that we are studying and practicing. In the 2D environment, we're looking at the internet, so we're looking outward at something that is external to us. In this new life that we are experiencing, and this new normal that we're creating, which no one really knows what it is, we get to co-create this along with everyone else. We are actually looking inside we're looking inside of our own selves. And this self-reflection, if you will, this self-awareness is reflected in the internet. This is another tool that is supporting us to be within, to go within and to ask these hard questions. Do I really believe some of this stuff? Or how may I better adjust to this and incorporate it as a part of my life? In How to Use the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes wrote, "The divine mind does not necessarily contain a mental blueprint of everything the individual is going to do. It does, however, contain the possibility of all individual action. When anyone conceives a new idea, thinks up a new plan or a new procedure which is in accord with the divine nature, then God is going forth in a new way into creation through that individual. So what we think, we become, and that reflects in our existence. It reflects in our outer world, and it reflects also in our inner world." In the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes offers this in addition: "There will never be an end to God, nor any of the attributes which are co-eternal and coexistent with God. If we are wise, we shall cultivate a faith in these realities." And what Holmes is saying here, or the way I interpret this, is that we're not to put our faith in the metaverse. Our faith is to remain in the divine and to recognize that the metaverse is yet one additional extension of the divine in expression. And so on a practical level, you may ask, what is required to adapt to this new life? And of course, we're always at choice. The first offering is patience. Things don't always go as planned. We had an example of that this morning at the start of our service. We had done a sound check before the service began. I walked away, came back, didn't work. Nothing was working for our virtual family. Things don't always go as planned. Spiritually, however, we know it is because there is something better waiting for us down the road. So a delay is not a no. Delay is a preparation point, and we're invited to exercise patience. Just because things don't appear to be demonstrating instantly doesn't mean that the universe hasn't already started making moves on our behalf. Take time to check within, go within, and determine whether we are giving mixed messages to the universe. When we are ready for a change or a shift and nothing seems to be happening, lean into patience. Use this as an opportunity to observe where we are in our present experience. And we may discover a gift, a little kernel, a blessing, or a lesson that we're not noticing. This comes from self-observation. Guidance and patience are valuable qualities to learn as we allow for our personal and collective grand rising. Another aspect of preparing for this new life is faith, which we talked about a little bit earlier. The challenges in front of us may seem insurmountable. However, Spirit is bigger than any obstacle. Let's say that together. Spirit is bigger than any obstacle. An attitude of faith allows us to persevere through any challenge. Spirit has always known what it's doing. Sometimes we challenge Spirit, or we challenge our faith and say, is this really real? Is this really for me? And yet, Spirit knows what it's doing. Faith requires that we trust the presence of love to guide every step. Here's a little story that I found that illustrates faith and belief. In the original Star Wars series, Luke Skywalker learns the ways of the Jedi, the spiritual teachings about energy, the energy of life itself, the way of the Jedi, the spiritual teaching of the energy of life itself. In the Star Wars universe, Spirit is called the Force. May the Force be with you. Young Luke Skywalker faces taking down the massive empire by hitting a tiny target within the Death Star. Luke closes his eyes and trusts the Force to lead the Rebel Alliance to victory. Even though this is a fictional story, it represents an imaginative expression of the hero's journey that we're all on. It doesn't matter how big our culture's challenges are or how little they may seem, we have the power of the Force of Spirit guiding every step to dismantle the cultural systems that no longer serve us. The pandemic really hit home with that. We recognize that there are systems, and we're still recognizing as we're coming out of this, that there are cultural systems and that there are other systems that no longer serve us. And our Centers for Spiritual Living, even though it may be a small organization, we have the strength of spirit, and that strength is immeasurable. This is why we offer to you each Sunday and through our classes and through the spiritual practices that we offer to recognize faith, to recognize the power of being on one accord. Another aspect of living this new life is everyday spirituality. Starting each day with the consciousness of a grand rising incorporates spirituality into our lives. And just a little reminder about grand rising, the phrase itself. This phrase is rooted in African culture, and it is used as a greeting and a way to set a positive intention for the day. Each day begins in a grand way and allows us to deepen our understanding of spirit and to see the wonders of everyday living. And so embracing a grand rising, a new day, and a metaverse. Jim Detmer and Diana Chapman and Kaylee Warner Kemp write this in the 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, a new paradigm for sustainable success. What if the great opportunity of life isn't trying to get the world to be a certain way, but it's learning from whatever we do, the world gives us. Whatever we do with, the world gives us. The opportunity isn't trying to get the world to be a certain way. You know, we say in our vision statement for Centers for Spiritual Living that our goal is to create a world that works for everyone. And that has come into, it's become a topic of discussion and conversation within our leadership and within our communities. How do we know that the world is not working for everyone just the way it is? Is this a arrogance and is this ego on our part to say that we have a corner on how the world works, and through these truth teachings, we're going to demonstrate to everyone how the world works? That's not the way it works. We learn from whatever the world gives us, and we adapt that into our own cultural and spiritual experiences and decide, this is working for me, this is not working for me. And I choose what's working for me. And I embrace what is working for me, and I add, as long as it does not cause harm to anyone else. If what is working for me is not causing harm for anyone else, then that's the path that I'm going to travel. And that's what we're invited to do as spiritual seekers and as truth knowers, is to recognize what is working for me. How am I showing up in the world? What am I giving to the world? Am I giving from a place of love? Am I giving from a place of overflow? Or am I giving from a place of lack? And we know whether we're giving from love or lack by the way the world responds to us. If we're giving from love, if we're giving from kindness, if we're giving from patience, if we're giving from joy, if we're giving from excitement, that's going to outpicture in our lives. if we approach the world with doom and gloom and regret and distrust, or buy into the distractions and and everything that is going around us that does not appear to be like spirit, that's what we're going to get back. So it's all based on where we place our attention and where we focus. We continue to ask, what is true for me as I practice a grand rising? How does grand rising show up in my life? And if grand rising is not a phrase that works for you, find one that does work. Something that gives you excitement when you arise during the day. Am I embracing this new day with awe, excitement, and wonder? Or am I going through the day struck in a rewind mode rather than being present in this moment of creativity? Quite often we find ourselves, and I'll speak for myself here, quite often I find myself reflecting on the past and projecting onto the future and forget that what is before me is present moment. This is all I have. The past is history. The future is a promissory note. What I have today is cash in hand. What I have today is the essence of spirit that is within me. What we have today is the essence of spirit that is within us. Embracing this new day, choose how we use what is available to us in this present moment. Let us now say together our affirmation for this week. On this new day, I believe that everything is always possible, that anything is possible. On this new day, I believe that anything is possible. As we pause, I invite you to just be in the stillness for a moment, to allow your attention and your focus to be on the breath, breathing in the essence of life, breathing out the joy and the excitement and the essence of life. And as we do so, let us go within into prayer. What I know to be true right here and right now, in this very moment, in this very room of my consciousness, is that God is absolutely all that there is. The one life, the one power, the one presence. That which encompasses all things, all beings, all places. That which is eternal, that which is immortal, that which is infinite. That which knows no bounds or boundaries. And as I embrace these aspects and qualities of the divine, I know that I am a representation of these qualities. And as this is true for me, I know that it is true for everyone, in every place, in every time. It is true for those who are practicing principles of truth and awareness that may not be called science of mind, may be called Islam, may be called Judaism, may be called Catholicism, may be called Christianity, may be called Buddhism, or all of the other myriad of names and practices that are there. I know that at the core of each one of these practices, there is this knowing that there is an infinite intelligence that is guiding everything. And so as we come together, embracing the various interpretations that we embody along the pathway, we find those points of agreement. And this is where we align ourselves with each other in agreement with the oneness of all life. And so in this field of infinite possibilities, I know that everything is unfolding in divine, right, and perfect order. And that order begins within me. Where there is peace in the world, when there is peace in the world, there will be peace in my mind. And so in my mind right now, I am declaring peace and joy and compassion and wholeness. Recognizing again that what is true for me is true for everyone. And so as we travel along this journey that is called life, as we face what appears to be obstacles, what appears to be a not now, we recognize that these delays are part of our preparation. And we move into that place of patience and faith, knowing that something bigger and better is waiting for me, and I can see it. I see through the obstacle to the end, the result that I have in mind. This is where I focus my attention, knowing that what is for my highest and best reveals itself as the highest and best for everyone that is involved. Blessing those who are experiencing what may appear to be detours in life, a health challenge, a health opportunity, the body temple not responding in a certain way. Those who are seeking right livelihood, those who are seeking right living conditions and arrangements, knowing that we're always at choice to be that healing presence that we want to show up in the world. And for this and so much more, I am eternally grateful. Releasing this word into that law which always says yes, I just allow it to be so. And if any of what I have said resonates with you in any way, let us affirm it together by saying, and so it is. And so. Just a reminder, don't leave this place this morning with a problem. We have prayer request forms that are on our prayer table. Invite you to fill out a prayer request and leave it in the prayer chest. And the ministers and practitioners will be in prayer with you and for you. As we know the truth of wholeness, as we know the truth of wellness, as we know the truth that God is absolutely all that there is. For those of you who are not present in the center, we invite you to go to our website and fill out a confidential prayer request on our website. Those requests come into a confidential email that I am the only one that has access to assure the confidentiality of it. We also partner with our Centers for Spiritual Living World Ministry of Prayer. That information is on our website and in our newsletter. And we also partner with Silent Unity. So there are prayer bases that are covered. There are prayer bases that are available for each of us to be reminded and to be uplifted and to be renewed in the power of prayer, the power of affirmative prayer, knowing that God is all that there is in every situation. And now it is time for us to share in the flow and circulation of abundance. And we have an affirmation of abundance that I invite us to say together. I recognize the presence of God within as a source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And for those of you who are here in the center, we have a donation box on our hospitality table. We invite you to leave your donations there. And for those of you who are viewing online, we have additional ways to donate by mail, by text, and also online to our website, montereycsl.org. We have made some changes to our website, and I invite all of you to go to it and look at it. to look at the freshness that is there on our website. I'm really excited about the changes. It's still a work in progress. We're tweaking, and if you see something that you have a question about or would like for more information about, send us an email to montereycsl.org, and we will respond to that, and we thank you for your participation in that. Just a few opportunities to share with you. Our Centers for Spiritual Living Annual Convention is taking place in Charleston, South Carolina, February the 19th through the 22nd. And there's an opportunity to attend in person or to attend virtually. And so if you go to the website, www.csl.org, you can find the registration information on there. Today, following service, we will gather for Soul Collage with Denise Kaku. Next Sunday, we will have our Spiritual Living Discussion Circle for the month of January. There are, in the Spiritual Living Discussion Circles, we review articles out of the Science of Mind magazine. And for those of you who are here in the center, there are copies available for sale. It's a double issue. So the months of January and February are included in that issue for a donation of $10. And you can leave the donation in the little kiosk or in the little container where the magazines are. And there's also an opportunity to subscribe to the Science of Mind magazine online and participate in our discussion circles. And the other thing that I want to bring our attention to is to save the date. I'm very excited about this. There is a new class that we're bringing to the center. It's called Infinite Possibilities. If you're familiar with the writings of Mike Dooley, Notes to the Universe, it's a popular email that I've been subscribing to for years. This work is based on that, and the teachings are in alignment with our spiritual principles and practices of Science of Mind. We will be offering a 3-week session beginning February the 27th, on March 5th, and on March 12th. And we will have more information as we go along. And so we say good morning, grand rising, wherever you are, to our Facebook and to our YouTube families, inviting you to return next week, where we will conclude our theme for January, Grand Rising. And our topic is feeling good. Isn't that what we all want to do, is to feel good about the experience of life? And we invite you to please comment, share, follow, and subscribe to our Facebook and our YouTube channels. So we will see you the next time. God bless.